What's up, everybody? Sup. You did not do it again. You did not do it once again. Scatter's ruined. Alright, welcome to the first stream of the week. Unfortunately, no stream yesterday. Sorry about that. I'm relatively stressed at the moment about my deck choice for YCS Lil. I'm gonna be honest with you. I spent the weekend trying out different things, and I just couldn't really find anything that I was super happy with. So I was a little stressed, and I stayed up very late during the nights, and so I needed some rest yesterday. Yeah, I'm in like this. I'm in this existential crisis where it has a like roughly 50% chance of just ending up with me just playing the Runick White Forest deck. But yeah, it's all right. We'll see. We'll see. The problem is there's no such thing as pure Runick. The problem with the situation is that like the Runick White Forest deck is good, but it has problems. It does have problems, specifically going second into something like Yubel. The thing is, I feel like everything that I tried other than that, like every other deck also has its own set of problems. Like some of them are better going second, but therefore they're weaker going first. Like, you know, like to an extent, I would really like to have hand traps right now in this format. Like, I think it feels really good to have some hand traps, but then when I'm testing, like very often, even through 2 to 3 hand traps, they still end on like Soul of Rage, and that's really hard to beat with just 2 to 3 cards. So I don't know. It's been rough. Testing has been rough. It doesn't feel like there's a great solution. I also had a lot of frustration with specifically Varudras and Desiree, dude, again this weekend, because it feels so hard to break a format with 2 Omni Negates in it. It feels so hard to try and find a solution to a format where like the best deck just makes 2 Omni Negates. It's very frustrating. But yeah, anyways, that's how I'm doing. How are you guys? What's up, Farfa? Welcome back. Thank you for the 29 months. Hope you're doing fine. But yeah, either way, I have a couple of funky ideas for YCS Lil that I might or might not do. I'll see how they perform in testing. But yeah, just a couple of things. Today might be the only stream of the week. Depending on how I feel tomorrow, because I'm leaving Thursday. And I might need tomorrow to prepare my deck for the YCS, depending on how I feel. If I sit down and play test tonight, and I'm like, okay, I'm fine with this deck, I can just play it, whichever one that might be. I'll probably just go live tomorrow. But chances are that I'm gonna have to prioritize YCS prep before the, like, instead of streaming tomorrow. That is a real possibility. I'm just letting you know up front that might happen. Yeah. And then next week, I will actually return later than usual from YCS Lil, because I have some stuff planned throughout the week that I'm gonna have to attend to. So I'll be back around Thursday or Friday. But I will be I'll be streaming on Friday, and I'll be streaming on the weekend, I think. But yeah. The Schmidt cycle got no deck one day before the YCS win, YCS repeat. See, if only it was that simple. I wish it was that simple. I wish it was that simple. The reality is that the sort of stress or whatever that I'm feeling right now is what I feel almost every time there is a YCS, and it doesn't work out every time. So it's not that simple. You did miss that. I promised you at the end of the stream that I was going to look at that the next day, and we did look at it the next day. I don't think it's been uploaded to YouTube, but you should just check the... It should be on the it should be on last Friday's VOD. So either you go and check out the VOD from last Friday on Twitch, or you go !YouTube in chat, and there's a VOD channel, which I don't know if that video is up yet on the VOD channel, but it is up on Twitch already. But yeah. Kodakai, thank you for the 2 months. I have a regional Saturday. Do I play Yubel, Fire King, or Tenpai? Well, I mean, those are all really good decks. It depends on what you prefer. I think Yubel is very strong, but kind of weak going second. I think Tenpai is obviously great going second, but Tenpai is Tenpai. You gotta know if you want to play that kind of deck. I think Fire King out of those three is probably the weakest, but the most fun. But yeah. Micro Canadies, thank you for the 11. Coolver, thank you for the 9. Appreciate that. And DJ Truckcoon, thank you for the 18. Appreciate you guys. Welcome back. All right. From my testing, Memento Fiends with Board Breakers comes really close, because it's one of the few decks that can play Metaltronus, Ultimate Slayer, Foolish Goods, and Black Goat. My main issue was that Talon's take was a bit anti-synergistic with the level 5. My problem in general, I tried some board breaker lists over the weekend. My problem with board breakers was that because Varudra's, like, the Yubel board is so freaking oppressive that, like, I would consistently draw 2 board breakers and still lose the game. Like, that was my biggest issue, was you draw 2 board breakers and it just isn't enough, right? Like, it just doesn't break. That was my problem with board breakers, because like, I mean, in every other matchup they can be fine, but it's like against Yubel specifically, if you just don't interrupt them at all, their board is not breakable. Like, it is simply not breakable. Cam very wobbly. Yeah, it's just because it's whenever I hit against my desk too hard. Anyways, let us begin with the stuff for today, because we have a lot to go through today. Turns out the day I decided to skip yesterday, the day I decided to take off, is when they decided to drop all the news in the world. Which, to be fair, we knew about the OCG Forbidden and Limited List update. We knew that was gonna happen, and I forgot about it. Maybe, but like, I mean, I needed the day off. It's fine. It's whatever. We'll do it today. But yeah, we had an OCG Forbidden and Limited List. We had an OCG Forbidden and Limited List update. We had an amazing set trailer for Rage of the Abyss. Like, there was an over an hour long live stream where Billy and Jerome introduced a lot of things from the new set, which was really cool. I haven't checked out the entire thing, but I have looked. I like skimmed through it, and it was pretty cool. And there's been a bunch of news regarding Rage of the Abyss, like including the new Mimighoul cards, which I haven't read yet, but I have seen quite a bit of hype for them on the internet. So you know what? Since we've yapped for a bit already, why don't we just skip the warm up and hop right into the reactions, because we've got quite a few things to talk about. We've got a podcast to record later today. We're going to do that on the stream as well, and we also still haven't hit we haven't finished the first stage in Master Duel yet. So there's a lot of things that we have to do today, and we've been yapping for a couple of minutes already. So I feel like there's enough people here where we can just start. First and foremost, probably the most important thing to come out of the last couple of days over on social media is the Fiend Schmidt has been released officially. There it is. There's the artwork for the Fiend Schmidt. That's the most important news. We're gonna start with that. So there you go. Very, very pog, very cool artwork. Can't believe they found a shirtless picture of me on the internet. I didn't know that was out there, but there you go. It's been leaked. Anyways, moving on. Let's go through these OCG Forbidden and Limited list one by one. I have this scroller prepared where all of these cards are on here. just to give you guys an impression of what's about to happen, this is what the picture looks like zoomed out without paying too much attention to the individual cards. There's a lot going on in the OCG right now in terms of their Forbidden and Limited list, and we also have a reaction to this list in the pipeline that we're going to look at in a moment. But they were due for a very big one. I'll say that. I think this OCG ban list needed to be big in order for people to be happy about it, and it's big. But let's see if it's good. Now, I will say, not all of this is blind. Obviously, everyone has been talking about Maxi already. I'm not going to act like that one's a blind reaction. Like, I know Maxi is on here, and we're going to talk about it. The thing is, the other stuff is basically a blur in my head. I haven't really paid attention to the rest. I just, like, saw Maxi, tweeted about it, and then kind of, like, postponed the rest to the reaction. So, like, I haven't really processed the rest of the things on here, so let's still go through it. They banned Beatrice, which obviously is the only correct way to do it. They did not ban Lacrima, in my opinion, huge mistake. However, I will say that in the OCG, apparently the time rules are different. They still have extra turns. According to my chat, we had this talk recently, and people said the time rules are different, which maybe that makes Lacrima a less toxic card overall. And so just banning Beatrice is maybe fine. Also, they don't have Necroquip Princess. So like banning Lacrima would hurt them a lot more than over here, right? Because there would basically be no replacement. Without Aerial Eater and Necroquip, banning Lacrima would basically just kill the Fiendsmith package. So I understand it. They do have to, unfortunately, keep dealing with Appaloosa, Baron, and all that kind of stuff. Keep in mind that is all still legal for them, but here we are. Dryden coming back? I was under the impression this card was already back. There's no way they hit it, right? There's no way it was at 3 or 2, and they put it to 1. So this must have been forbidden beforehand, which I just because of Master Duel, I thought it was legal in the OCG as well, but apparently it wasn't. But looking at Master Duel, this card absolutely can be probably at 3 even, which is what I'm hoping this card to go to at some point. Masterpiece is a controversial thing. People have been asking for this for a while now. It is kind of a toxic card. It is a powerful card. I can't say that I think it's going to be super good though, so like I can't really argue with this. Masterpiece is one of those cards that, while it can be legal probably in 2024, it's like potentially still annoying, but it's fine. Dragoon coming back is also fine in my book. I personally think DPE was probably the better card anyways. They do still have Verte though, right? Because Master Duel has Verte. Oh, they don't have Verte. Okay, no, then it's absolutely fine. I keep, in my head, I keep mixing up Master Duel and OCG. Forgive me if I ever like have the wrong idea of what is banned and what is not banned. But if Verte is banned, this card is completely fine. Exhibit A, TCG. Snatch Steal is also completely fine. Cool card. And now we're getting into some hits. We're getting into some hits here. All right, 1 Diabell Star, 1 Poplar. Now this is Snake Eye hits. It's consistency hits, but it's consistency hits to the point where it's like actually enough, right? Because keep in mind, Wanted is already at 1, Ash is already at 1. They have basically at this point limited the entire starter lineup to the point where like it's gonna have like 1 Poplar, 1 Ash, 1 Wanted, 1 Diabell. Like it's just like it's not gonna have any follow-up. It's not gonna have any like it's probably not even enough starters. It's probably not even enough starters because I think, if I remember correctly, yeah, Bonfire is also here. Bonfire went from 2 to 1. So now it's legit 1 bonfire, 1 ash, 1 poplar, 1 witch, 1 wanted. Like it's literally a Highlander deck, commander looking ass deck. So like, yeah, big snake eye hits, and Chandra to 1, even further hitting Tenpai, which was absolutely necessary. One Chandra, you can't really argue with that. You cannot really argue that Tenpai needed to get hit in a significant way, simply because that deck was running rampant with the new Mulcharmy card as well. So that needed to get hit significantly as well. And Chandra to 1 does hit it. You know, it's a slight consistency hit. It's one of its best extenders, right? Like, if your opponent doesn't have the field spell, it is actually, like, a lot easier now to interact with the deck. Because if you can cut them off of Chandra access, their battle phase is just not scary at all, right? So that's good. Phantom of Yubel at 1. This card should have been printed at 1. This card should have been printed with the limited 1 symbol on the card. So this card needs to be at 1. Very good hit. Fiendsmith Tract and Engraver to 1 as well, which is a significant hit to the Fiendsmith engine as well. Without making it completely unplayable, I think you can still very much play Fiendsmith as a like, you can still any 2 bodies into Moon, into like tag out into Requiem, into Fiendsmith. Like, that is something you can do. You will simply draw them less often as extenders, right? So like, that is another hit to the Snake Eye deck as well, which now also has 1 Engraver next to its 1 Bonfire, 1 Ash, 1 Poplar, 1 Witch, 1 Wanted, so on and so forth. So massive limit list here. In my opinion, they should have still, as much as I like these hits, I still think they should have just banned Flamberge. But it is a very, very OCG kind of approach to it. Like, they're not trying to kill the deck, because on paper you can still do powerful things with Snake Eyes. So like, in theory, any Snake Eyes enjoyer is still able to build their deck. It's just going to be less competitive and less consistent, but the deck theoretically can still function, right? I guess is the upside of this, right? But yeah, before we talk about what this means for the overall meta and maybe what is missing on this list, let's completely finish the thing. So newly semi-limited cards, we've got Eva, we've got Terratop, we've got Pankratops, we've got Invoker, we've got Luster, we've got Gold Sarcophagus, and Fusion Destiny. We'll talk about these. So these are all unhits that are basically irrelevant. They're not completely irrelevant, but like, all of these are fine. The most likely card out of these to have any impact, I think, is Gold Sarcophagus. Gold Sarcophagus is still a good Yu-Gi-Oh card in a bunch of different decks. Like, you can use it as a consistency cards in different decks. Like, I don't know, like Branded comes to mind, right? You can play this to access Mercurier or Tragedy. It wasn't even a staple at 1 though, right? Malice can also use it, to be fair. So that is relevant. Which, if anything, Malice probably needed the buff. Like, Malice was only played a little bit in the OCG, but yeah. And here we've got the big guns. We've got, okay, let's talk about Maxi last. We've got Gozen Match, I think, going from 3 to 2. All right, I guess. Nightmare Throne going to 2, which is good because that card is way too powerful. That card does way too much. So we've got just another little Yubel hit there. And we've got Maxi. And Maxi is Maxi. Look, we don't have to talk about it. We in the TCG, us based TCG enjoyers, we look at this card, we look at the OCG, and we're like, how do they still have this card legal even, right? So, and the same goes for Master Duel. The amount of enjoyment that I would get out of Master Duel if Maxi was banned is immeasurable. Like how much better it would be, in my opinion. So does hitting Maxi from 3 to 2 solve every problem? No, it doesn't. But it's a step in the right direction. Now I've seen people like argue that 2 Maxi is a worse position to be in than 3 because it now is more sacky. Which in my opinion is not true with Maxi in this instance. It is simply a matter of it's simply a matter of people are playing Maxi and people are playing outs to Maxi regardless. Like it's Maxi going to 2 is not going to have anyone go from, oh, I'm now going to cut Ash and Called By from my deck. That's not going to happen because they also still have Fuvaros, right? Which I am hesitant to call Fuvaros the same card as Maxi, but when you're going first and your opponent has it, it is kind of similar. So like for going second, they still have 5 copies of Maxi. So people will still play Called By, Ash, and so on and so forth. It is just that the odds of you getting hit by Maxi is now lower. The odds are simply lower than before. You have better mini game odds. The mini game is not gone because there is still 2 Maxis and 3 Fuvaros. But you know, like my opinion is that they are probably or hopefully trying to get rid of Maxi, right? That was honestly, this was my guess to begin with. My guess when I saw Purulia and then Fuvaros was they are trying to replace Maxi. Because in my head, I simply cannot imagine a world in which some card designer for Yu-Gi-Oh! Thinks that you need multiple of those cards. Like, there's no way that anyone thinks that. Genuinely. No matter how much, like, how little credit you give to anyone, there's no shot that anyone believes we need 6 copies of Maxi in this game. And so it was, in my opinion, it was just a matter of how long will it take for them to hit Maxi after Fuvaros comes out. And in my opinion, this is the beginning, hopefully. This is the beginning of Maxi. So what we could be looking at here, and I say could because there is partially copium, this might not happen, but I think it can, is potentially a world where Maxi gets phased out of the OCG now, where they take out Maxi gradually, maybe because they're too scared just doing it one hit, like just ban it immediately. They're probably too scared of doing that because they want to see how this kind of thing is received. They want to see how this game develops with 2 Maxis and then maybe eventually 1 and then maybe banning it, which would leave us into a world where both the TCG and the OCG are a lot closer together because Maxi is such a huge card that's shaping up the game over there that we don't have. That like the 2 games are basically, it's almost like we're playing a different game, right? And so like if we ever get into a game where both of our formats don't have Maxi, I think it becomes a lot closer, and so on and so forth. But that is all something that is written in the stars at this point. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens with Maxi. I'm happy to see it semi-limited. I am very much looking forward to seeing it go to 1 hopefully soon and then banned. And for the love of God, please do the same in Master Duel. Please do the same in Master Duel. But you gotta be, I do understand that they're careful with it because I'm gonna be honest, the OCG is very, very used to this card. Like there's a lot of I don't know what the right word for it is, but they are just so used to playing with Maxi that I think they are scared of what's going to happen without it. Because they just have a completely different perspective on the card, I feel like. But yeah. So those are the semi-limits. And now we've got unbans. Math mech multiplication. Hate your username, but thank you for the 6 months. Appreciate that. Also, HD Sumi, thank you for the 2. The unlimits, honestly, on these recent Forbidden and Limited lists have been my least favorite part of the discussions, because most of the time when I'm talking about these cards, all I have to say is I don't think it matters, because it's a little too late on these, but they still need it to happen. Dragon Rulers, Plush Fire, Zeus, Kirin, Quick Fix, Raigeki and Lightning Storm are relevant cards. That's fair enough. Those matter, but they're fine to be at 3 in my opinion. My Friend Pearly is also potentially a relevant card. I don't think anyone can make the argument that Pearly should be hit in the OCG right now. So that card going back to 3 is absolutely fine. Yeah, I don't know exactly what their situation with Spiral is. Do they still have Master Plan in the OCG? I know Master Duel does. They do have Master Plan. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Spiral is potentially a deck that can still become a meta combo pile at some point, but for now, we'll see how it develops. For the most part, I think all of these unlimits don't really matter and are justified. So that is that. Overall, I think this is a very, very good list. The one argument that I'm seeing a lot in terms of the negativity is it didn't hit Raziel at all, which was the best deck prior to this list. Or like, not like the best deck by far. It was part of the best decks. You know, it was Raziel, Tenpai, and Snake Eye kind of getting like equally high. Let me just check. Let me double check the numbers before I yap. We've got, where's the latest metagame report? On the latest metagame report, yeah, we had Raziel at 19.5%, which was the exact same as Snake Eye, which was then followed by Tenpai and Malice. Now, I think what this ban list does is it creates an environment where now Raziel and Malice can rise to the top. They will probably be the best decks in the format by now, like after this Forbidden and Limited list. I personally don't have an issue with this. I think it remains to be seen whether this makes Raziel a tier 0 deck or whether it's just a good deck, right? But these decks are both very, very new. So I think, in my opinion, this is okay. I don't actually hate this that much. Like, I think it's okay for them to be like, okay, we've had enough of Snake Eye, Tenpai, and Snake Eye, Tenpai, and Yubel, so we're gonna hit like Snake Eye, Tenpai, and Yubel, and Raziel and Malice now get their get even more time in the sun. I think this is a very good list. I like it a lot. I think this is the basically this is the list. I hate to say it, but this is the list that I wanted for the TCG, or like this is the list I want next. This is what I want next. I want our next list to go Murder Snake, hit Yubel very, very hard, and hit Tenpai very, very hard, and then we might be cooking in the TCG as well, right? Which, keep in mind, they're getting this list now, but they also have these cards longer than us. So like this roughly lines up timeline wise. This would roughly line up with our, like, if our next ban list also gets us these kind of things, I think it's fine. Except for the max seeded 2. I don't want max seeded 2 for us. Do not get me wrong. But I have people suggested in my Discord, we have a channel where people can suggest stuff to react to. And there is someone suggested an OCG player's reaction to this. I think we've checked out this player's reaction last time as well to the previous one. And so we will go ahead and do that right now. Let me see. OCG player celebrates best ban list ever. I feel like the title spoils a little bit of what's gonna happen in this reaction. But yeah, I just want to hear from an OCG player and see what's going on over there, if they're happy or not. Specifically about the Maxi thing and some other stuff.
My last OCG Banlist video was so well received, but it was a bit strange since the ultimate point of that video was that the last banlist was not very good. I really think if we're ranking every format of all time, last format ranks among one of the worst. I only entered 3 tournaments all of last banlist, but pretty much every complaint I had about the last banlist is completely fixed in this one. I'll just say it, the OCG is completely saved. For reference, I am a competitor, so I like to focus on the top meta decks, and as a result, I'll probably look at this list through the lens of Snake Eyes, Tenpai, Daizieru, Runick Stun, and Memento, and I'll probably not really talk about any of the things that I don't have much knowledge about. So for the bans, it's just Beatrice, and it's so beautiful. Every single problem I had with the Fiendsmith engine was basically just Beatrice. Like, if we're being honest, one card, Link 2 Body, and a rank 6 or face up negate is strong, but when you compare it to some of the other cards we're seeing right now, like any Memento starter, or Snake Eyes Ash, or Diabell Star, comparatively, it doesn't even seem that crazy. It's really good because it's...
I get this. Like, I genuinely don't really mind. Like, there's a lot of things that are powerful about the Fiendsmith cards, and people criticize, oh, it's very splashable, it's a very powerful engine that a lot of decks can play. I don't think that's a negative thing. I think that is something that can be cool. Being able to just like splash engines in different decks and get use out of it and make like certain decks have access to different lines and stuff like that, I think is fine. I think you gotta look at what the deck does. And I think my biggest thing about the Fiendsmith cards that I don't like still, even after they're being hit, is just the fact that they give us access to an Omni Negate. Like I was so happy when when Baron got banned, and Savage and Apple and stuff like that, and like I can't even begin to like I'm preparing for YCS Lil right now, and the frustration I'm feeling when trying to solve Varudras plus Desiree is like, it's frustrating. It's like you got to be careful with where you put Omni Negates. It makes sense that the OCG does not complain about this as much because they have those other Omni Negates, right? They have Beatrice, they have Savage Dragon, they have all of those cards. They have Appaloosa, so like, them not criticizing Desiree makes sense simply because they have other stuff that does the same thing. They also still have Lacrima and so on and so forth. But that is, I think if Desiree was either, I mean, I don't want to say banned, but like my preferred solution would have been if Desiree was just a different form of interaction. Like if Desiree was a different form of interaction, I would have been completely fine with the Fiendsmith cards right now.
Non-committal, it has good follow-up, it's a very efficient engine, and it's highly splashable. But the result doesn't actually seem that fair if everything resolves, unless they're doing some black technology with Beatrice. If your hand can play through what the Fiendsmith stuff produced, then you still couldn't hold your defense for the real starters because Beatrice might FTK you. You have to hit the Sequentia every time. Now you can reasonably...
Well, yeah, the fact that they didn't ban Appaloosa is crazy to me. I honestly, I don't know if it's a hot take, but I think Appaloosa was always more bannable than Baron. I think Appaloosa was always the more, like, almost more frustrating than Baron. Baron also deserved to get banned, but I personally would have banned Apple before Baron. I thought Apple was the bigger problem.
Use your hand traps on the best part of their deck. So this is obviously an excellent change, and when I was making predictions with my friends, my wish list was just a Beatrice ban and nothing else. Now, if you look at the limits, they have completely eviscerated Snake Eyes and Yugioh. I don't even think either is playable anymore. Last ban list, I had some friends in the TCG tell me that Snake Eyes was unplayable with 1 Ash, 2 Bonfire, and 1 Wanted. I had commentators tell me that Snake Eyes wouldn't be good anymore. And this time I actually feel like Snake Eyes is dead. They hit absolutely every single starter without exception. It's 1 Ash, 1 Poplar, 1 Bonfire, 1 Diabell Star, 1 Wanted, 1 Fiendsmith, 1 Tractus. Like, I don't even see how this can still be played.
This is gonna cause these pictures again of people posting a Snake Eye deck at full power and then having like the limited symbols on it, like when they did with Tier. Like, there's literally this, there's this picture of a Tearlament deck at full power, and every single card has like the symbol on it now, except for like Tearlament's Scream and Maxi. But even Maxi has a 2 on it now. You can make the you can make that Tearlament picture even funnier now because Maxi also has a semi-limit now. Yeah.
This is a tier level murder. Like, they can't just play one of each of those and only have 7 starters. Even if you start counting additional starters they could play, like Sanctus, it's just not enough starters for the deck to function.
As much as people are making fun of this, right? Of like, this is funny and all that. I think we should probably move away from this behavior. Let's can we agree on that stuff like this does not speak for healthy archetype design. If this is what you have to end up doing, then you probably should have been a little more careful with how you made that, with how you designed that deck. And this is basically the same as like Snake Eye at full power almost is going to look the same as this, right? You put 3 Ash, 2 of them are like, it's limited now. You have Poplar is limited now, Bonfire is limited now, Wanted is limited now, Dia Belsar is limited now, all that kind of stuff. Like, I think it, as good as these decisions are in order to finally hit those cards, I think it goes to show that you need to be a little bit more careful with your main lore kind of archetypes, right? Because like, I feel like the reason why these decks were made so powerful is because they were part of some sort of main lore. You know, Tearlament was part of the Visas lore, and Snake Eyes is obviously part of the Belstar lore, so we're making them really powerful and all that kind of stuff. I get it, but like a little more careful. A little more careful, because you really don't want to end up in a situation where you have to do this to a deck.
Like, personally, I would rather them just ban Flamberge, but this is actually even better because it just also consistency hits other Bonfire decks like Bystial do, as well as every other Azamina deck. Yubel, to be honest, I'm a little surprised that it hit so hard, because Phantom to 1 would already be a massive but deserved hit. Because Phantom kind of has a Colossus problem where it's a good endboard card, except you could also use it as an extender because the summoning condition was so easy. And Phantom also protected you from hand traps, which Colossus didn't. So
that is not a problem. The fact that you can use Phantom of Yubel because it's like you can summon it multiple times per turn, the fact that it's a good endboard piece and a great extender, that is not a problem, bro. That's broken.
Now it's like you can only choose one of those options. And then they also lost all the Fiendsmith stuff.
That's how it should have been.
They could still do it, as in they make Moon during their actual lines in order to get into the Fiendsmith stuff. But it's just that their deck is so much weaker to hand traps now. Like, imagine if you just summon a Samsara D-Lotus and then that just gets ashed. I'm not even really sure how to extend past that easily. Like, you would have to have a 0/0 Fiend and a Yubel in your hand to make the Phantom. You have to link those two in order to get into the link 2, or you have to hard draw the Fiendsmith stuff. I guess Nightmare Throne also does it, but you would have just activated that first to get into Phantom.
The thing about the Fiendsmith stuff is like, Fiendsmith Engraver with only, like, Engraver at 1 means that Engraver itself is actually a pretty bad draw, right? Because what are you going to do? You're going to go Engraver into Tract, Tract into Lurie, Lurie into Requiem, no effect. Right? Like, you can bring back... Oh wait, they have the main. I forgot about the main deck one. Okay, now that makes more sense. Okay, yeah, I forgot about Lacrima, the main deck Lacrima, the Rage of the Abyss one. I forgot that existed because we don't have it yet. Okay, so there's still lines with it. All right, there's still lines with it. All right, that's okay. That's fair enough. All right,
it's just still so much harder for Yubel to play around hand traps now. So to be honest, I don't even feel like Yubel is that playable anymore. It was already kind of mediocre because it was bad into all of the strong hand traps except for Nib. Nib was the only one who was actually good against.
It's
so
still
it's a bit sad for the anime fans, but Yubel ended up being a rather uninteractive deck, so I think it's probably for the best. Now the last thing to talk about is Chandra, and yes, I know, I am a Tenpai lover, so I am biased, but I really think this is a perfect way to make the deck more fair, because the biggest issue with Tenpai as of last format was that there's way too many turn skips in the game. So you were much too likely to do nothing if they had one of the turn skips. And that hasn't changed too much, but what has changed is that they are much less likely to play through your hand traps if you're playing the fair ones. Yes, they can still kind of ignore the turn skip hand traps, but the fair hand traps may just stop their turn. Because an issue before was that any dragon in the Chandra demanded a 3 hand trap response, which is just so unrealistic. And if they had the field spell, you just died. And now there's only one field, and there's only one Chandra, so most games you're going to have ways to interact with them. And that means Chandra hard draw is the second hardest thing to interact with in Tenpai next to the field spell, right? Like, if they have the field spell, it's obviously mega hard to interact with them. But it's also like, let's say they normal summon Pydra, you imperm it, and they just special summon the Chandra. That's like very, very hard to interact with because, like, yeah, like you can't really interact with Chandra because it activates in damage step to summon from deck, right? So like, if you imperm it,
if you imperm it before it attacks, they can just make Bident Dragon and bring it back, not negate it anymore, and so on and so forth. So like, one Chandra is a big deal because hard draw Chandra, I think, is the second best thing to hard draw in that deck.
That you're just playing normal Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, to be honest, I could see this deck still being strong because it can still support Dominus Impulse, which is one of the best hand traps ever. It plays the most non-engine in the entire format. When its play resolves, you die instantly. But I don't think it will come close to its results before the ban list because you can actually interact with their play too. Yeah. For semi-limits, I'm only going to be talking about 3 cards. The first one is Pankratops. I actually love Pankratops, and it's one of my favorite cards because I feel like Pankratops is both a fair-going second card that is also highly flexible. It will basically just play through every single floodgate, which is why I like it so much. The issue with Pankratops to me is that I feel like this is sadly not that relevant, but it's becoming a growing trend in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now that no one seems to be talking about. Except I really do not like how they keep printing these battle phase skips. For example, Nightmare Pain, Cranium Burst, Voiceless Voice Barrier, and then the Malice Field spell is another one. The battle phase is already not that relevant in Yu-Gi-Oh! Before, you would either use it to pretty much either 1, kill them, or 2, clear some interrupts so you can try to clear the rest of them in main phase 2. So they already took something that was already not that important, and then they made it even less important, which is why I feel like Pankratops loses a lot of power. I do.
That's an interesting thing I hadn't really thought about that way. I tend to agree, I think. Like, in my opinion, whenever the battle phase... Let me try to phrase this right. Whenever the battle phase is used to just clear some threats, to interact with your opponent, not to kill them, right? Like, when you're, like, using the battle phase to attack over something that you otherwise have a hard time clearing, and then main phase 2, you try to make your own board. Those kind of games tend to be more interactive, right? Like, when instead of just raw powering through an SP Little Knight, I have to use my battle phase to attack over it, and then in main phase 2, it's like much more interactive because I have to prepare for my opponent having another turn instead of just like killing them, right? I feel like that kind of is a more fun way of playing modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Obviously, the most fun is if you just don't have a battle phase at all, because then you just have to play maximum control and all that kind of stuff, right? Like, we all agree with that. We all know that's the most fun to play modern Yu-Gi-Oh! But I think I get their point. I think the battle phase is already kind of weak. So making cards like Nightmare Pain and stuff that makes it even worse to go into the battle phase. Like discourages interaction, I feel like, a little bit.
I think it's still a pretty good side card, though, because a lot of people are on the 3 Solemn 3 anti-spell technology post board right now, and Pankratops is quite efficient into those cards. The next card I'm going to be talking about is Opening. I know Branded is super hit, and it should be okay for them to get stuff, but Branded is just one of the lamest decks of all time. Like, it should be cool, because it's a big engine deck that is flexible, and the interaction...
This guy's based!
And the board it puts up is decently strong, but that's not actually how it plays in real life. In real life, it's just a puppet simulator. So until they ban Puppet or Branded Expulsion and Sanctifier, it will always be my least favorite deck. So the last thing...
They are right. They are right. Branded is a really cool concept with a very poor execution because Puppet Lock exists. That's what it is. Branded is a really cool deck if it doesn't lock you, but locking is the most optimal way to play Branded. Doesn't matter what anyone else tells you, but like, as long as that option exists, it's gonna be the most optimal way to play Branded, and that is gonna be cringe. Branded could be so cool if they just banned Sanctifier, but they chose not to.
About this is just Maxi. I don't really have much to say about this one. Maxi to 2 is obviously excellent because 2 is less than 3. So that means it's going to be used against me about 1 less game every 10 games I play. I said this last video, I think, that Maxi was definitely not getting banned on that ban list. And I even think that it's definitely not getting banned on the next ban list. But I think putting Maxi to 2 makes sense given that the tactical tri-decks give new players to Maxi, and they can kind of use this as like a litmus test as to whether or not they can ban Maxi in the future.
Bro, if you put... Okay, what the argument is, the tactical tri-decks give new players 2 Maxis. Bro, just put it to 1 so that they can share their 2 Maxis with a friend. So each gets 1. How cool would that be? So that 1 tactical tri-deck feeds 2 people.
The unlimits, the only thing I'll say is that Raigeki and Lightning Storm to 3 is maybe a bit scary, but it's also kind of the same because if you wanted to play a breaker focused deck, you could just play some Dark Holes and it's like the same thing. And then there's also critical mass of breakers you have to play, or else you draw too many. And in that case, I don't really think that these going to 3 really changes too much. Lastly, this is completely not relevant, but
is Lightning Storm still at 2 for us? I think it is, right?
PR Lead is actually one of my favorite decks, and hilariously, my Fiendsmith PR Lead deck is completely untouched, or almost untouched, because
Fiendsmith Pearly. Okay, they are on some demon shit.
Just got banned. So I might be playing around with that next format because my deck was 3 Luries and only 1 man, 1 girl anyways. Will it be good? Probably not. The Fiendsmith stuff was quite a bit worse, and now that Beatrice can't send Delicious Memory, but I'll probably be playing around with it for a bit.
Bro, they go memory, discard Lurie, or what? Quick play spell, discard Lurie, go into Fiendsmith. Alright. Dude, let him cook.
So for my final thoughts, the meta is completely saved because honestly, there's a lot of cool decks right now, but they're just completely gatekept by Snake Eyes and Tenpai.
Here's the thing. And this is only an impression, right? An impression because I haven't played the format yet, but there's a difference. The fun you will have when playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Is very different whether Snake Eye and Yubel are the best deck in the game, or Ryziel and Malice. I feel like. And I think that is what the people are missing that are like, oh, this Banlist is dog shit because Ryziel wasn't hit. Like, I think there's a difference. I think if I'm going to a tournament and like the best deck is Snake Eyes, Yubel, and Tenpai, I think I feel worse than when I go to Ryziel and Malice tournaments. Look, I haven't played this format yet. But like we'll see. We'll see. There's probably ways to beat those decks. They seem more easy, like they seem easier to interact with than Snake Eye, Yubel, and Tenpai. Like they're good decks. Don't get me wrong. They're probably going to be the best decks even, but they feel like less of a gatekeep than Snake Eye, Yubel, Tenpai.
And if they just ban Snake Eyes, then Yubel would already be pretty tough for these decks just below them. So hitting Yubel is also, as a preemptive hit, is also a really excellent idea. So I'm really interested what ends up being good next format. I really don't think Ryziel is as good as its results show. I think that it was a deck that played through Fuaros, it could play a lot of non-engine, and it could make a good enough board even through most hand traps. I could give a more in-depth answer about my thoughts on Ryziel, but
here's the thing. What they just said is Ryziel is good against hand traps and makes like solid boards through them. But here's the thing. If Snake Eyes and Yubel vanish, and Ryziel is the top deck of the format, people just won't play 15 hand traps. Like Ryziel was probably so good in the OCG because people were forced to play hand traps. People were forced to main deck Fuvaros and all that kind of stuff to deal with Snake Eyes because Snake Eyes was a thing, right? So like decks are very often also the product of the environment, right? Like a deck might be really good because everyone is forced to play 15 hand traps in their deck or more, and your deck is good into hand traps. Well, congratulations, you've got a good deck in the format that people can't really, like, they can't just go play board breakers to beat Ryziel because then they're going to lose to the other decks, right? So, like, but now these other decks are gone. They don't have to play 15 hand traps anymore. So you lose those kind of cards that, like, other people's non-engine might just be good against your non-engine now, right? And so Ryziel as a deck, if the main advantage is, hey, my deck is good into hand traps, but people don't play hand traps, then maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. We'll have to wait and see. But like, only because this deck was not hit on the ban list does not mean it's going to automatically be the tier 0 deck by far, simply because the environment changes, and the environment is always important when you look at a deck and how it's performing.
I think that the summary is that I don't think it's that strong. Some people are probably thinking that since it had the best results before the ban list, that they just murder everything below it. It must be Ryziel tier 0 next format. But I really don't think so. If it ends up actually being tier 0, I'll be completely shocked. The real question is what the common non-engine ends up being, because people are all maxing all the turn skips because they were so efficient. But I could see fair hand traps coming back if people just all start playing Centurion or something. Tenpai is also much weaker to the fair hand traps, and people may be incentivized to play more fair decks because the turn skip hand traps are so strong. But just from a preliminary option,
it's very wholesome to see someone else on so much copium for their own format. Like it is a situation that I've been in countless of times, and sometimes I was right, sometimes I was wrong, but they seem very, very happy and hyped for the new format, which ultimately is the point of a ban list, right? It's supposed to create hype like that.
Without digesting the ban list, I think Memento is definitely the best deck. I think that yugioh will be a strong deck, obviously. Runick Stun will be strong. I'm actually rather concerned that they never seem to hit Runick Stun on any of these lists because it's clearly always playable and also no one likes it. Honestly, Malice could also be good. I think that yugioh was going to be better before I learned about them, and I thought that Malice was going to be worse because Malice is like 8 starters, 8 extenders. That could also be starters, so you get one shot by one hand trap a lot. But after murdering Snake Eyes and yugioh, that's a lot of decks. So relative to the field, it might get better because a lot of decks will get one shot by one hand trap. And then the board they make is actually quite ridiculous if their starters resolve. And I do feel like that there's going to be some Tempai sneaking around. Everything else that ends up being good is probably some unexplored deck is my guess. There's a lot that I wanted to play around with, but never had time to experiment. So stuff like the new water support or some Azumina Whitewoods hybrid, but all in all, this is one of the best ban lists in Yu-Gi-Oh history. I think that Konami did a fantastic job, and I'm so excited to play the next format.
Nice. All right. We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that regarding the OCG Forbidden and Limited List update. Sounds like the OCG is hyped. I mean, one player. They might not speak for the general OCG player base. I have not looked into the general reception of this list in the OCG. Maybe there's some other people that are not happy with this, but the general vibe I was getting from social media and those kind of videos, you know, like people were happy with it. People were happy with it, and I can see it. I can see why. I think this is something that the Snake Eye Yubel Tenpai hits, if we got something like those in the next TCG ban list, I would be very happy with that. I am not super scared of a format with Bystial and Malice in it. I think that is way more manageable and way more fun. At least in my first impression of these kind of archetypes. We'll have to wait and see if that actually ends up being true or not. But yeah, looking forward to seeing what the OCG does with this ban list now. We'll have to wait and see. And obviously, elephant in the room, Maxi going to 2. Hopefully this is only the first step, but we'll have to wait and see with that as well. All right. All right then. Dark Lord Shigi, thank you for the 4 months. Appreciate that. Also, Quantal, thank you for the 19 months. Appreciate that. Thank you. Probably back to 3 in the next one. I think a lot of it depends on what the general, like, I have a hard time estimating whether the majority in the OCG likes Maxi because they're so used to playing with it, or because, or like if the majority dislikes it. I feel like my impression whenever I've looked at like comment sections or something, I feel like people were 50-50 on it. I don't know. Do you remember when Maxi went to 2, then to 3 in the OCG in 2017? See, I didn't remember this until someone posted it earlier this morning. I read it somewhere, and that kind of ruined my day. Like, the fact that they put this card to 2 and then back to 3 is crazy. Like, Maxi on your ban lists should only be going one direction and one direction only. And that is down. Completely different situation back then. I know. I'm aware. Zayn Malik mentioned. True. True. All right. Varia, thank you for the 3 months. Appreciate you. Here's another thing that happened yesterday while I was not streaming, unfortunately, but they released a banger of a live stream, or not released, they had a banger of a live stream yesterday, which is over an hour long. So we're not gonna watch it together. We're gonna look at the individual pieces of information from it separately. But this was a banger. I didn't get the opportunity to watch through the entire thing, but I watched some of it this morning, and it was just Billy and Jerome having a good time and revealing a lot of new stuff from Rage of the Abyss. So we have a bunch of news to go over. We have a bunch of cards to cover. We have some stuff, and I think it's cool that they do this. I like getting the information about the new stuff in like a coordinated way in a live stream. I'm a big fan of them doing it this way. And also shout outs to, hold up, I messed up my thingy. Here we are. Shoutouts to Ready for Duel for compiling all of the info over on Twitter, of course, because that gives me a very easy way to look at it. Now, some of it is completely new information. Some of it is just like revealing the rarities for certain cards that we already knew were in the set. So those we're going to cover relatively fast. But they did talk about the new, this one was called, it was called Primordial. Now it is called Primite. Think of that what you will. I personally think Primordial was a cooler name, but the continuous spell is going to be a secret rare, and the dragon is going to be an ultra rare. And then they also showed some of the Metal Morph cards. There's a random True Draco deck profile from the OCG in here. Heart of the Eyes of Blue, or Heart of the Blue Eyes, is going to be a secret rare, which is the one that's also treated as a Millennium card. We also knew about this card. Then we've got the Red Eyes Black Full Metal as an ultra rare. We've got Metal Illusionist, but all of those are cards we knew about. And here we're getting into the real deal. They just revealed the entire second wave of Mimighoul support in this stream. And I haven't read these yet, but there was quite a bit of hype surrounding these this morning. So I am actually expecting good stuff here. We'll see. We've got Mimighoul Throne, an ultra rare in Rage of the Abyss, which requires 2 level 1 Mimighoul monsters. You can detach 1 material from this card, special summon a Mimighoul Master from your hand, deck, or graveyard. During the main phase, quick effect, you can target a Mimighoul Master you control, equip this card to it as an equip spell that gives it 1000 attack. Then you can return cards from the field to the hand up to the number of materials this card had. You can only use 1 Mimighoul Throne effect per turn, and only once that turn. Now that is a good rank 1 for Mimighoul. No? So what this card does is if you can get 2 Mimighouls on the board, you just make this, you get an extender out of it, a master. You're supposed to leave that master on the field alongside the throne, pass turn, and then on your opponent's turn, it'll also give you a bounce. I think that is a very good card for the Mimighoul archetype. That gives you it. I think it's. I'm very happy, by the way, that we're going the rank 1 route here. I'm very happy we're making Mimighoul rank 1s instead of Mimighoul fusions and stuff like that. Because I feel like this is what Mimighoul needed in an extent. Because one question that was always there when you were playing Mimighoul is, what do? Like, you give the Mimighouls to your opponent, you flip them up, they come back to you. Now, what do you do with them, right? That was always, they didn't have any extra deck monsters so far, but like, it only makes sense that like you want to turn them into something that is good, right? Like, and so rank 1s make sense because they're all level 1s. At least I think they're all level 1s. Maybe there is one that isn't. Like, I know Master is not level 1, but I think all the flip ones are level 1s. So like, now you have something to turn them into, right? That's cool. And the payoff for this is decent, right? You get another master, and you get a bounce on the opponent's turn. Not bad. And you even have another option, which is Giant Mimighoul, which is a secret rare, and it looks kind of dope, honestly. You've got 2 level 1 monsters, so this one is generic as opposed to the other one. The other one needs Mimighouls. This one is generic. Your non-Xyz Mimighouls can attack directly while your opponent controls a face-down monster. Ooh, that gives you some cheese win cons, right? Like, you just like give them 1 and ignore their entire board and swing. All right. You can only use each of the following effects of Giant Mimighoul once per turn. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can add a Mimighoul card from your deck to your hand. Okay. You can detach 1 material from this card, target face-up cards on the field up to the number of face-down monsters your opponent controls, destroy them, and if you do, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent for each card destroyed. This is also pretty powerful. It's funny that it's 2 level 1s. So Snake Eye Ash is Mimighoul combo now because Ash summon Poplar, make Giant Mimighoul, add 1. This is good, right? On summon, add 1, and gives you a good effect going second to pop your opponent's cards. Solid. So basically, what I like about these two together is that Mimighoul Throne seems to be a better option to go into going first, because both of these cards, when you make them, will create for you another Mimighoul card, right? Like you overlay 2 monsters. This one gives you access to Mimighoul Master. This one gives you access to any Mimighoul card. So both of them will give you a +1, or like an extra Mimighoul card when you make them. This one is particularly strong, I think, going first, because it does provide an interruption on your opponent's turn. This one is a better option going second because it also has the pop effect, right? So like you can just choose which one to go into depending on what the situation is. Obviously, you could also make Giant Mimighoul on turn 1. I could also see the Mimighoul deck going down a route where you make both of these in a certain combo and then just turn them into like F-Zero, what is it called? Draco Future, whatever. It could be a thing. I don't know. Oh yeah. These are good. So these are the extra deck monsters, and they got a bunch of main deck cards as well. So the split this time is 2 spells, 2 extra deck monsters, and 3 monsters. Let's go for the monsters next. Mimighoul Armor, Warrior Flip. Basically for these, the cool thing is we only have to read the flip effect because everything else is the same, right? We only have to read the first flip effect. This turn, Mimighoul monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. Okay, that is not good. Not really, it's different. Oh. Okay. During your main phase, spare some discard to your opponent's field face down. Spare some discard. Oh, okay. I remember because they also had different effects on the secondary one. Yeah, okay. So this one is flip effect. This turn, Mimighouls can't be destroyed by battle, and then it comes back to you. During your main phase, you can special summon it to your opponent's field in face down position, or if your opponent controls a monster, you can summon it to your field. That is not something that the other ones have. So this one, the flip effect is very mediocre. I'll say it. The flip effect is very mediocre. The use of this card is that you can use it as an extender to go into your rank 1s, right? Like you give your opponent a Mimighoul and then you can summon this to your side of the field as a level 1 extender, which I don't know if that's worth it. I do not know if that's worth it, but it's not terrible. But maybe it's just the worst one. I don't know. Mimighoul Fairy. The flip effect is this turn, you cannot activate the effects of monsters special summoned from your hand. Ooh. That's a powerful effect. So no Diabellstar, no Poplar. No. Does this hit you, Bell, even? Not really, right? It does block. It hits like Kashtira. It hits Chandra. No Squirmer? No, it does. The Squirmer does not care about this. Sharvara also does not care about this. You guys don't understand this effect, guys. This card does not say you cannot activate anything in hand. It just says after you have summoned from hand, you cannot use the effect. Squirmer does not care about this at all. And Sharvara also does not. But it is good against Tenpai and Snake Eyes. During your main phase, you can special summon this card to your opponent's field in face down defense position, or if you control a Mimighoul monster, you can special summon this card face up on your field. You can only use. So this is just a better version of this. Because both of these are extenders to your side of the field if you need to go into a rank 1, but this one actually has a meaningful flip effect. So I think Fairy is just a slightly better version of Mimighoul Armor. But alas. Okay, this one is potentially pretty powerful depending on the format and what kind of decks there are. Mimighoul Slime. If it's the main phase, apply these effects in sequence. Your opponent can special summon a Mimighoul monster from their deck to their field. Oh, that's nice. Ooh, that's cool. Okay. We get any Mimighoul from the deck, and then we get this card. So this is literally a I mean, I say 1 card rank 1 because it's not really a 1 card, because you have to give it to your opponent and then you have to make them flip it up, right? But this one, if it resolves, you will get 2 bodies out of it. The other one is you can special summon it from your hand to your opponent's field in face down position, or if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon this card face up on your field. Okay, so they all have a very similar secondary effect. They're not exactly the same, but they can all be extenders for your own field if you don't want to give them to your opponent. With just slightly different conditions, right? Slightly different conditions, but they all function as an extender on your own side of the field if you want. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. This one I think is the best one, followed by this one, which is, in some ways, it's only good because it's toxic, right? It's only good because, like, it stops your opponent from doing certain things in their deck, like Dia Bellstar and Poplar and Chandra and so on and so forth. But potentially a pretty good one. Slime is my favorite, though. Slime's my favorite because it doesn't have a floodgate attached to it. Mimighoul Charm is something that I feel like this was revealed beforehand, I think. I'm not sure. Let me read it because I forgot what it does anyways. Once per chain, during the main phase, if a Mimighoul monster your opponent controls is flipped face up, you can randomly choose a face down card in your opponent's extra deck, and if it is a monster that can be special summoned to your field, but it cannot activate its effect this turn. If it wasn't or couldn't be special summoned, banish. Yeah, this was the extra deck rip one. The fact that it's random obviously makes it a lot worse. But it's like, it just... This would have made more sense if they gave Mimighouls a link monster. Like, if they gave them a link 2 that said, like, 2 monsters, including a Mimighoul. Because then, this could be used as, like, you would just get your second material from your opponent's extra deck. And then you make your Mimighoul link 2 with it, right? That would have been cool. Because right now, I don't really see a great use out of taking my opponent's extra deck monster, other than obviously them not having it anymore, right? Them not having it anymore is fine, is cool. The problem with that is that, like, you can't choose, it's random. So, like, sometimes you will hit their, I don't know, Fiendsmith sequence, and that's crazy. Actually, they can just summon it. They can shuffle it back, Fiendsmith sequence, and that, I don't know, like, maybe you hit their one of SP or whatever. Like, it can be good, but it's random, so it can also just be irrelevant. Mimighoul Fork. Target a face-down monster your opponent controls. Your opponent chooses one of the following effects, and you apply that effect. Change it to face-up attack or defense position, or send it to the graveyard, then its owner draws 2 cards. You can banish this card from your grave, add a Mimighoul Fork from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. I get it. I get it. It's a fork. It's a fork because it forks your opponent into 2 decisions that are not great for them, potentially. Because, like, I honestly think most of the time, your opponent is just going to choose the second effect, which means I think this is, like, not that great. It's not terrible either. It really isn't. But it's like trade-in, right? Because, like, you give them a Mimighoul from your hand, which you go -1 for, and then you can use this, which gets rid of the Mimighoul, and you draw 2 cards. So, like, you kind of, like, just used trade-in on that Mimighoul card, and you get another fork from your deck. So you do go +1, but that card is once per turn, so you don't really have a use for it. Yeah. Can this be ashed? I think so. Should have been a quick play. Could have been a quick play, I can agree with, because then you could have actually used the second copy of Fork that you search on your opponent's turn. Okay. Now... let me get all of these, hold up. Let me use the YG organization article because it has all of them lined up. I think that there is some stuff to be happy about. There's some cards here that I think are slightly on the weaker side. I do really like, the best here is by far is the 2 extra deck monsters. The 2 extra deck monsters are very good, and also important that they are good because they are easy to access every single game. Like, that is... The 2 extra deck monsters definitely solve a problem for this deck where you need to turn your Mimighouls into something meaningful, and these 2 cards are meaningful things to turn your level 1 monsters into. I like that a lot. Mimighoul Slime is very powerful. I like that. Mimighoul Fairy is solid, but it revolves around the floodgate effect. So that is, first of all, not the greatest way to design. But second of all, it also is very heavily dependent on what other decks are in the format. Because sometimes this is going to be an insane effect. Sometimes it's going to be terrible. And sometimes it's just going to be okay, right? But overall, Mimighoul Fairy is good. Mimighoul Armor is a little disappointing because I felt like the only thing that this had going for it was the fact that, like, you can summon it. Like, it's awkward because I read this one first, so I was like, hey, at least it's an extender. But then the other 2 are also just extenders, right? Like, it's like awkward in that sense. The spell cards, I feel like, are they both have a unique, like, flavor to them, which I think is cool. That's one thing I really like about the Mimighoul cards, is they really make you think about the game in a different way. Like, Fork and Charm are both cards that are very, very unusual design-wise, which doesn't necessarily make it bad. I just have a feeling that both of these are, while not bad, maybe slightly not good enough to see play in competitive. But, yeah. Maker is very powerful now. Maker, because of the addition of Slime, you now have basically always 2 very broken things that you can, like, forever, whichever situation you're in, you can always just Maker for 2 really good Mimighouls, right? Like, and no matter which one you get, no matter which one the opponents gets, you're happy, right? That's pretty cool about Maker. Here's the thing. Is this deck going to be competitive now? Probably not, but that is not because the second wave sucks. It's because of this. Hold up. And obviously some of you have already mentioned it, but this card is also in Rage of the Abyss. Dominus Impulse is a card that says, it works like Dominus Purge, where it's a hand trap, but if you use it from your hand, you cannot activate the effects of light, earth, and wind monsters for the rest of this duel. The reason why this card is so good against Mimighoul is because if your opponent uses Dominus Impulse, which is a card that a bunch of meta decks use, because light, earth, wind is like, you can still use dark monsters, you can still use fire monsters, so a lot of meta decks can use this card. And water as well. If your opponent uses this card, they are locked out of Earth for the rest of the game. Which means that if you give them a Mimighoul and it flips, it just can't activate. So this card invalidates the Mimighoul deck, kind of, which is very unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate because if your opponent opens Dominus Impulse, your Mimighoul deck basically stops working immediately. Like, all of your Mimighouls are now extenders for your opponent, and nothing like you can do nothing about it. Like your opponent has basically floodgated themselves, but it only floodgates your deck, right? So that is a problem. That is a problem with Mimighoul, because all of these are Earth. There's not even like a workaround. There's not even like other options that you can go for that are not Earth, so that you maybe have a different game plan under Dominus Impulse. No, if your opponent has Dominus Impulse, the Mimighoul deck just loses, right? So, but I do think, regardless, this is a good second wave of support for the deck itself. You know, there might be a format. There might be a format where people simply don't play Dominus Impulse. You know, and then you can cook with Mimighoul. It's a deck worth trying now. And it honestly looks competent. It's a competent second wave of support. Not all of it's crazy, you know, like it could have been better. Like Mimighoul Armor could have been better. The 2 spell cards could have been slightly better, you know. But the extra deck stuff is really powerful, and extra deck, I feel like it is. I feel like one of the main reasons why some of the other TCG exclusive archetypes have failed recently is because the extra deck stuff just wasn't it, right? Because extra deck cards are the ones that you're going to be accessing every single game, right? Like no matter what you're doing, if you're playing a Mimighoul deck, you will have access to Mimighoul Throne and Giant Mimighoul every single game. And because they're good cards, that matters a lot. Right? Like if the Ashen Fusions would have been like really good and really worth going for, like maybe that could have saved the deck, but it's the extra deck cards that were made mediocre kind of, and I think that's what made it fail. And so for Mimighoul, I can see a concept here. You know, I see a concept here. Maybe you can even find like maybe you can find a rank 1 engine. Like maybe there's a package you can use that makes like a 1-card rank 1 or something as a starter, because Giant Mimighoul just adds any Mimighoul card, right? Even Mimighoul Maker, right? This adds cards, not just Mimighoul monsters. This adds Mimighoul Maker. This adds the field spell. Like it's great, right? So maybe there's a 1-card rank 1 that you can play now. Who knows? We'll see. Very cool wave of support in my opinion. Very, very cool. Like that. Was that all? That was all. All right. Sick. Every Pearly spell is a 2-card rank 1. I don't think you're going to play Pearly Mimighoul. What do you think is a good deck choice for a regional? I have Saturday, Yubel, Fire King, or Tenpai. I think Fire King is the most fun out of the 3, but it is also the weakest. If like, I think Yubel is more powerful than Fire King right now. If you want to go first, but if you enjoy Tenpai more, I think it's also pretty powerful. Like they're all good decks. I think you can just play whatever one you feel more comfortable with. But I do think Yubel is probably the best out of the 3. All right, the next thing. There's no article about it. Why is no one? Where's the post about it? Where's the Volcanics post? Does no one care about my boy Volcanics? I need a visual for it. Where's Volcanics? Hold up. Here. There we go. This was also announced. I almost forgot about it. It's a girl. Shut up, guys. That's not what I meant. What is that? I'm donating because I'm foaming at the mouth at the Mimikyu support. Thanks for supporting my addiction. Okay, thank you, I guess. Yeah. Volcanics is coming to the TCG with Rage of the Abyss, which is obviously very dope. I feel like we don't have to really give this card an introduction because of how long it's been in Master Duel. Like, I guess if you've been living under a rock, this card's pretty cool for Fire Kings. Finally, honestly, in the TCG, I feel like this is one of the most criminal oversights in 2024 is how late they released Volcanics, because Fire King Snake Eye was just, for us, it was never at the glory that it could have been. You know, Volcanics is a crazy good card. So I'm happy we finally have it. I don't know if it's already too late, because Snake Eyes like has already been hit a little bit and is probably gonna get hit harder soon in the next update. But here we are, Volcanics. Did they announce the rarity for it at all? Because judging from the picture, it looks like it's a common or a super rare, but I don't know if it's accurate. I don't know if this is from the stream or something. Like if they didn't, maybe they made, because I'm looking at some news page here. Like maybe they just took the image from somewhere else. They did not. Okay, like I can see this card being anywhere from, like, I could see them releasing it as a common because it's too late. I can see them releasing it as a secret rare because it is such a cool card and people are looking forward to it, but we'll see. We will see. And then the last thing I wanted to mention was that I saw this post this morning, and it is a post on social media, so it must be true, but I did not fact check it. But someone posted the new quarter century Trinity box includes support for Orchist, Punk, and Dragon Maids. Which I just assumed it's correct. I didn't check where this was announced or anything like that, but it appears to be that in December, the OCG gets support for Orchist, Dragon Maid, and Punk, which are decks that, with the right support, could come back into the modern metagame. Like the Orchist, specifically Orchist and Punk cards, are not outdated yet. Like they're just like slightly not good enough, but like a good support package could fix that, you know. Like Punk and Orchist are pretty powerful. For Dragon Maid, exactly, I don't know exactly what would have to happen. I don't know what would have to happen if for Dragon Maid to be playable. No, we'll see. The thing is, Dragon Maid has only been used as like successfully has only been used as an engine in other decks, like in Dragon decks. So if they give them cards that make them more splashable, then maybe they could be played again as that sort of thing. But I don't know. We'll see. All right. So that is all of the news I wanted to talk about. A lot of stuff happened, honestly. A lot of cool news, I feel like. A lot of good stuff happening yesterday. And now I'm booting up Master Duel. Sky Striker Orchest comeback? I don't know, dude. I don't know. All right, the news portion is over. Now we play Yu-Gi-Oh! Scatter, everybody. We play Yu-Gi-Oh! Now. Because I think... Bro, I got 3 gems. Now I got 23 gems. All right. Did you see my game with Magro? Yeah, I did. I saw it. We are on level 19. We're on level 19, so I thought like we can just have a chill session to go to 20 today. Hopefully. Time to buy gems and open runic packs. Maybe we can open some runic packs later. Maybe. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Maybe we'll do a little attempt at a royal runic card later. We'll see. Over Troopy, thank you for the 13 months. Appreciate the support. Thank you for the sub. My hand is broken. Their hand is not. Did you get a Royal Paleo Xyz yet? I have both Paleo Xyz and Royal. I have Royal Opabinia and Royal Daddy. Oh no, they are stun. Okay, maybe their hand is good. Macrocosmos, huh? You can Ash Macrocosmos. It's very funny. It doesn't do anything, but it's funny. Okay, I have to check. Do I have to discard to the graveyard? You can send one card from your hand to the graveyard. Yes, I do. And use Lubellion. That's cool. What does bro have? Can't be Maxi, can it? This guy? It could be Shifter. Does bro have Shifter? Bro might have Shifter. Shifter does not have to go to the graveyard, right? That'd be awkward. It has to go to the graveyard? That's funny. Okay, so this also have to send to the graveyard. So I'm gonna go Bonds, plays Gargoyle from hand. The only way I can see to combo. I don't play Wake Up. I do not play Wake Up. I could have synchro during their turn, but I really want to get Phalanx. I really want to get Phalanx, I think. I mean, I can still synchro. I can still make Blazar, I guess. Because Auxilla can place from Banished. Like this Auxilla grabs Field Spell or Trap now. I'm not sure which one. I think Trap is safer. Because if I get, like, let's say I get stand up and they just normal summon, like, let's say they draw a barrier statue or something, they normal summon it and I can't do shit anymore. I don't know what they're playing. I'm confused. I don't play the counter trap, no. Gizmek Orochi. That's crazy. I might normal summon Maxi and make SP to banish that. Oh wait, can I? Place a Centurion. While you control a card, you cannot... No, I can't. They can't destroy my Auxilla. Well, they can destroy it by battle. I think I can let this happen. But is it stun? Do I have to be scared of a barrier statue here? Probably not. Yeah, I'll banish it. I could have played around that. I could have played around that by banishing my own. Okay. I didn't want to take the damage if necessary, but they do have 2 Gizmecs. I don't want to get... Level 5 or higher Centurions cannot be destroyed by card effects. I can summon out Dea. Make it level 8. Won't use that. Well, you can only use 1 effect per turn, right? I forgot. This was my only Auxilla. They drew Solemn. Love this game. I should have phalanxed my own. I think I was winning. All right, destroying their own Gizmek makes sense. Nice. Sick. Try again. Nope. Okay. We learned. Bro, come on, man. Can I draw a freaking playable Yu-Gi-Oh card? Lampy German accent moment.
By the way, Phantom Cons Phantom Coons restrictions were quick. Lol.
You want to talk about Bystials? No, I prefer to never talk about this game again. Can I use my graveyard? Well, they have a... Is this Gizmek again? There's no way. Yeah, I can't check their deck in Duelist Cup. Shut up. Draco Predator, thank you for the 25. Appreciate that. I let them search with the unicorn because I didn't expect them to play Theosis. I thought they were just going to grab Birth and I could let them play after. But I don't want them to get Theosis. Why in def? Because they, like, the only way they can get over it is by making, like, a huge ass freaking Skull Guardian. Love when I throw out 3 Bystials. 3 Bystials is a sweet spot. 4 is too many, apparently. What about 5? Dude, honestly, I wouldn't have been that surprised if the universe just like created an Albalos out of nowhere in that game in my hand. Like a dueling skill just creates an Albalos in my hand out of nowhere. Fuck is that? You know what? Just cause I just drew it, and I think that's funny, I'm gonna ash it. Because I just want to. I just want to because I just got that. New Toy Syndrome. Like, I just found this Ash Blossom, and I want to use it. Because that's the funniest way to use hand traps, is the ones you just drew off of, like, Maxi, or like you usually draw one effect on your opponent's turn, you pick up a hand trap. Those are the funniest ones. Those are by far the funniest. All right, we've got the magic number. We've got 3 Bystials. Arc champion. Bergic, thank you for the 2 years. Appreciate you. Fuck. What does bro have? Oh, Squirmer. Squirmer, I see. Is it worth to find a spot for this pattern in the extra deck? You could, yeah. We can try this pattern. What do I summon the least out of this? Probably Packbit. Packbit I haven't really made once yet. No, keep Packbit? No, I won't. You can't tell me what to do. Do you make the Chaos Archfiend a lot? I've made it once. Which is one more than what I have made Packbit. It's so annoying if they go for this opener and you have Druid Worm. Like, it doesn't do anything. And they're gonna summon once into my maxi. Like, it's so cringe. Oh no. Oh, okay. Okay. Actually, the Bystial is kind of pog if they use this. But they can just search another one is the annoying thing. They will just go activate Skull Guardian, activate low. And if I Bystial it, if I Bystial this, they will just search one and normal summon it. I might just get the extra draw, honestly. I think I'll let it happen. There's no point. If I drew a swarm here, my Bystial is gone. They get the low anyways. Like, I'll just let them search. What is this search? A monster? Yeah, I don't care. Like, grab your Soravis or something. Or Saphira, Divine Dragon of the Voiceless Voice. Okay. So they have Saphira and the other. They have two Saphiras in hand, right? This one and the other one. Okay, that's cool. My hand is good. So this is, if it tributes 2 fairies, they can destroy a card, right? So they can tribute 2, yeah. Ah. At this point, we are just going for it, guys. We give them Saravis. I know, but like this thing can't be destroyed by battle, so I have to remove it by card effect because it was summoned with this. I can't chain block Saravis. It would have to be Chainlink 1. Chainlink 2. Doesn't work. Draw anyways. I mean, it was fair enough. They only drew like 15 cards off of Maxi. We're duelist level max, which means we cannot take part in this weekend's Duelist Cup stage 2 because there's a YCS on the same weekend. Very pog. Alright, sick. Celebrate it with runic packs. You guys just want to see me suffer. At least be honest. You're just saying that. You are just saying that to make me suffer. You want to see me suffer through freaking pack openings. Because the thing is, this is a dangerous road to go down. Because at that point, once we start doing that, we just like, I just stop making money from from streaming because we spend more on freaking runic secret packs than I actually make from a stream. When is the podcast? In 1 hour and 40 minutes. We've quite some time. Okay. Hold up. Let me see what options we got here. We can do. I will Pepega credit once. I will Pepega credit once just to celebrate the release of the runic secret pack. Okay. But just once. But just once. Okay, it happened. Okay. This is going to be one of those instances where after the stream, I'm going to ask myself why I even did this. I could have just probably not streamed and been fine. Anyways. Now, I don't want... Okay, bring back circular. You take back that sub. That does not help me at all. You keep your sub and your username. I will subscribe if you pull a royal fountain. You do realize that that was your sub message, right? Do you realize that you just put that as your sub message? Okay, anyways. Are you from the future? Please tell me you're from the future. All right. Anyways, let me grab a prediction. We're gonna make it simple. I don't want to make a new poll, a new gamba every single time I open another batch of 10. What we're gonna simply do is, do we pull a royal? Do we pull a royal in these 50 packs? Yes. No. I'll leave that running for a minute. Any royal count. It doesn't have to be. It does not have to be a runic royal. Of course, I would prefer it to be. Wow. Sweeb, thank you for the 5 gifties. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. I will not thank you for this sub, Luke, because I can read the name that you gifted it to. I am aware you will not get me. I will not. I do not appreciate that sub at all. And yeah, please refund it. All right. Yeah, any royal counts. Any royal counts, even super rares. Doesn't matter. Any royal. Don't worry, I won't clip if you read the name. I know you won't because I'm not reading the name. All right, let's go. I already have 2 Garys in Royal, but it would have still been cool. I don't have that. Nope. Blue Cyclone. Thank you for the sub. Lurry. Oh. Oh. Oh, it's from outside the pack. Palladium Oracle Mahad. Okay, didn't want that one. We're getting ultras though. We're getting ultras. Henpai Advocate with the gifts up to Runick Gaming. See, I'll read that one. Oh, dude. How many ultras am I getting? Almost. Chris with the gifts up to Hugen. Appreciate that one. Come on. Come on. Oh my god. No. Oh, we're so close, dude. Ah. This is the second time this has happened. Oh, come on, man. Imagine. Shit. That was only the first badge. Mass craft is the better way. Dude, I can't mass craft ultras. You can technically? Dude, okay, so I can't. Yeah, technically, but practically not. You sound like a poor person right now? No, I sound like a financially responsible adult. That's what I sound like. You're mixing those up. You just spend 80 bucks, nothing responsible about that? Look. Hey. What, you... Not yet. I have those already. I have freezing curses already. No matter what happens today, by the way, this will not be a regular thing that we do. But I just want to say that, like, You just can't. You can't ask me like every stream. I already have Sleipnir. That would have been so troll. If I got Royal Harpy's Featherstorm, holy shit. Oh! Nah, it's just yellow. Okay, well. Well. I'm getting less rainbow packs every single time. It went downhill real fast. Skip match? No, I paid for my fun. And skip for good luck does not work. I've tried it before. Are you having fun? Not particular. Okay, don't like... Come on, man. Not yet. Chris with the gifts up to Royal Gary. Chris, are you doing the thing again where you're checking Twitch for funny usernames to gift subs to? I feel like we've gone over this. We've discussed this, chat. As funny as it is to give subs to like Skill Drain or Sunseed Loci or whatever, or any other floodgate in the game, or Mystic Mine, it's technically, if you want to support the channel, it's like it makes more sense to give them to people who are actually here. Not to say that whoever has the Twitch account Royal Gary is not here right now. I don't know, they might be. And you keep going. All right, I shouldn't have said anything. Oh, we get a guaranteed Royal Fountain in the next pack. Ooh. Nice yellow pack. ZB, thank you for the gift sub to Ray Cosplay. Bro, the Ray Cosplay account has been subbed for 6 months. 6 months, guys. They probably don't even know what this stream is about. They just get a notification every month. Please with the gifts up to Royal Tip. All right, we're trying to manifest it. We're trying to manifest it. I like it. Oh, dude, it's so sad whenever it doesn't flip over, man. Come on. Ah. Ah. Not this one. Not this one. Okay. Well, that didn't go so well. Stop. 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 Uh, Thank you for the $10. Am I legally required to put these into packs? The $10? Am I? Because, dude, how much? Okay, what do I even get for 10? What do I even get for 10? Dude, that doesn't even get us to 10 packs. Okay, I'll do 10 more. I don't like that way. We should not have done this. We should not have started doing this. This was a mistake. This was a mistake, and I regret that we did this. I just want to say that. Okay, we'll do 10 more. We'll do 10 more, but these are the last for today. Bro gives me a cephalon. Oh, that would have been sick. Oh my god. That would have been crazy. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Ah. Yes. Okay, it was good 10 packs regardless. It was good 10 packs. We're not doing 10 more packs. We're just spending our gems and then we call it a day for today. Enough. Enough. Enough money has been spent. Oh! No. What? Yo! I almost choked on my food. Okay. All right. So at the moment, I have. Let me dismantle some. I have 3 fountains. I'm keeping 3 fountains for when it comes back. Do I keep the glossy? No, I don't keep glossy antis. Who cares about that? Okay. So what we can do is we can try to craft some supers. I don't really want to craft ultras, guys. Like ultra rare crafting is a different beast. You can craft more than 3, yeah, but it's more fun this way. Alright, we got destroyed. We got destroyed. Now you've boosted the drop. You craft fountain now. Okay. Five fountains will get you royal. Mm-hmm. Three crafts of fountain will go royal. If I'm wrong, ban me. Okay, bet. No, we do that. We do that. I craft 3 fountains. If I don't get a royal, you're banned. Because you tempted me. Okay. And you will get unbanned. You will get unbanned if I ever get royal fountain. That is how long your ban will last. I can afford 3. I have over 400. I have 475. I can afford 3 crafts. That's okay. You ready? Oh my god, that was close. That was close. Holy shit, I thought we got it. I thought we got it for a moment. Oh god, I thought we got it for a moment, but we didn't. We did not. Goodbye. Okay, who was that? Who was that? Stop chatting. I need to find them. I need to scroll up. No, where is it? Dude. Oh, they're already banned. They're already banned. The mods already did it. All right, well. Well, that just lost me some money. Great. And by great, I mean very sad. So what do we do now? How far am I in the ranked ladder? Dude, I'm still in, what is this? Diamond? I'm in diamond. Let's play some Runick. Not silver, thank you for the 2 months for you. Yeah, KH Flow, I don't know either. Either you're welcome or my bad. Depending on how you look at it. Alright. We're gonna start with this. I actually want to get hand trap. Perfect. Wonderful. Isn't the Bystial variant better right now? It could be. I just like clicked the one that was the first one I saw. Why would it not be? There's another quick effect. What is it? This wouldn't happen if Roach was at 2. It would still happen, but it wouldn't happen the last, like, how many games in a row, whatever it was. Like, it was at least, like, 3, 4, 5 games in a row. Why do y'all hate Maxime? Because we read it. Bro. Bro! Sick, I'm just gonna tip for the second fountain. Oh, wait. I forgot to skip. Okay. Oh! Okay, at least. No, I could have crashed my Hugin. Now I needed to crash my Hugin. I forgot. Because I didn't anticipate them summoning an attack, because that was so dumb. I didn't realize. Okay, my bad. You didn't skip yet? I did. I do have a battle phase. See? Wait. Oh, tree can... Okay, well... Yeah. I could have set tree, normal summon max, he attribute it. Yeah. It's fine. We have... just don't do anything this turn, like the last 10. Anthem of the World gifting a sub to Sunseed Runick Fountain. You just made that account. There's no way that account existed. Yeah, account created 6 minutes ago. I knew it. I knew you just made that account. Oh! Does this mess them up? If bro is banished? All right. At this point, I don't even like. Okay. The spell floats? I know. I read it. Jaja want to go now? We can go a little earlier. I don't mind, but let me cook for a moment, okay? Let me cook this game. Okay, who is this? Bro ads. Okay. Oh, you're that kind of person. Okay, I see. Yeah. That makes sense. All right, Gary. Give me back Fountain. Let's go. That's a good boy. Now give me a Runick. Let's proceed. I can still normal. I guess we go. That's crazy that they played the entire game without doing anything. Nice ancient gear deck. Nice triple max C too. Alright. Alright. Nice stun deck. It's not a stun deck. It's not my fault. I didn't stop them from playing. They just didn't play. That's a different. That is a different thing. A very different thing. All right. Honestly, what's in my gift box? Oh. We can, if Farfa is ready, we can just start yapping a little bit. Podcast topic. I think we're gonna talk about the OCG Banlist and the Rage of the Abyss news in the podcast today. Hold up. The yapper is calling. Give me a second. Hello.
Oh. Gaming, hello? Can you hear me?
What was that noise?
Nothing. Just chilling. Just back from Noah's swimming lesson.
Ooh. The first one?
No, he's been doing it for a while. He can go underwater himself, which is really impressive. So
I can't do that.
Aw, throwing. Yo, I gotta apologize to the Runick community. I tried the Runick Lightsworn version, and oh damn, it cooks. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Am I echoing? Okay, I'll put my headset on in a sec, chat. It needs some charging. Apparently.
It might be my my sound because I had you on kind of loud and I don't use headphones.
Oh, it's you. Okay, you're the problem.
It's always me. But it should be fixed now.
Yeah, Runick combo stuff is pretty fun, honestly. They should
really?
just ban all the floodgates.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. So you're a truther now. Okay, cool. Sick. We got him.
It's not realistic though, because they're not going to ban all the floodgates, are they?
Okay, you should just stop talking now. It's okay. We already we've reached a point of understanding. We can just stop talking from here on out, and we will both leave the conversation in agreement.
Yeah, sure. All right, let me find some Patreon questions. Where are we at today?
Let me close my window real quick. It's windy.
I think doing Patreon questions that are relevant to the topic is kind of not ideal, because we usually cover those questions anyway. So maybe we just make Patreon questions be like completely like
it can just be I feel like it can just be like a general Q&A kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because that gives us more to talk about rather than just like having to worry about what we have already talked about in the episode.
Yeah, pretty much. Do you need me to join somewhere?
Oh yeah, dude, I forgot setting it up. I haven't done anything.
There is a podcast to set up. Yep. Beatrice ban Farfa plays Runick. 2 out of 4 formats. 2 down, 2 to go.
There you go. Copy. Wait, Beatrice is banned in Duel Links? Oh, okay. It is in Duel Links though, right? I have a Paleozoic deck in Master Duel.
Seems.
You're back now. It was just in the scene the Discord audio was messed up.
Oh man, okay. I guess you guys are gonna have to listen to good takes going forward.
They were agreeing with you before I unmuted you.
Don't ask Josh what he thinks about the tins. Worst mistake of my life.
Yes.
Yes. All right. We good to go?
I'm ready.
Okay. Hello and welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Heart of the Cast. This is 32 or 33, I think.
I think 30.
Okay. Patreon, $1 per month. Subscribe now. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Next episode, we will probably do some sort of like format roundup or potentially like Rage of the Abyss.
Yeah, we could do our Rage of the Abyss introduction kind of thing, maybe.
Because that is pretty soon. Like, let's see. So Rage of the Abyss is the 10th of October.
Yeah, it's like 2.5 weeks.
So the next weekend will be the 6th. Oh, I think it has to be Rota. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Okay, cool. That'll be the next episode. Rage of the Abyss deep dive.
No pun
Read
intended.
up on your sharks before then. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, sick. Mimigools. Mimigool. I'm going to pick up a core right now, I think.
The old cards?
Yeah, I think the most expensive card is Dungeon. Which
Yeah, I have them already.
Oh shit, Dungeon is actually kind of expensive.
Is it?
Oh no, it's not. I was looking at the quarter century. A Dungan is like 4 quid. That's pretty reasonable.
Mimigool.
Yeah, it's cool.
What did I misspell? Mimi. Cool dungeon.
Poser Farfa. What the heck does that even mean? Poser.
Because you were looking into QCRs, I assume.
No. I just saw the first card that popped up. Not covering the tins is crazy. Oh yeah, we didn't touch on that. Oh. You know the old saying, if you don't have anything nice to say, it's best to not say anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also, I genuinely am not really into that topic. I have not followed that over the last couple of days.
Not really much to follow, right? Like, do you think the tins are good?
Well, I don't know. I genuinely don't know, like, what's in them and what the ratios are and stuff like that. That's what I mean.
Yeah, the ratios
Like, I didn't watch any openings. I haven't opened any myself. Like, that kind of stuff.
The ratios are, oof, I don't know. It's crazy. There are, I think the 2019 tins had like 20 secret rares. Some like really no number. The new tins have like an absurd, like, is it 100 is like the ratio of like potential secret rare pulls? So basically just I mean, just 100 secret rares in a 400 card set. It's rough, and I think NA has had like some production issues as well. A lot of people have been like just getting like just complete like cartoon character cards.
Okay.
So yeah, the tin has been. If you look at the best way to really evaluate it, I mean, just look at the cost of like Thrust and SP. Like they've
Oh
barely
yeah,
dipped.
Little Knight is in there. Little
Like,
Knight.
that's because it's just so bloated with cards.
SP
much.
Little Knight, Age of Overlord, Megatin. These are the same price.
So nice reprint. Oh my god! Also, the tokens apparently occupy a slot, so you can get like a secret rare token instead of like a card, right? Is that how it works, chat? It's rough. Yeah, I think like the issue with tins is like I think you just why did they change the formula? You know, like the 2019 tins, even the 2020 tins. Actually, was it 2019s with like the absolute bangers, right? Like you had like 3 promos, you had like a lower number of slots. So,
I'm
like,
pretty sure 2019 was the Nib Shifter Dark Ruler ones, and I'm pretty sure those are like unmatched in terms of like how well received they were.
Why did they change that? But the thing is, like, people have like a cynical take to say like, oh, Komoni like trying to like profit and stuff like that.
Well, I'm
but
pretty sure these are gonna perform worse than the 2019 ones.
Exactly.
Like, I'm pretty
So it's
sure
like,
there was someone somewhere who just thought this was better and they were just wrong.
yeah, like the 2019 tins, like you say money, but the 2019 tins were literal money printers.
Yeah.
Like I remember I wanted to do like a sealed thing with the tins like in sometime during COVID, and it was like 8 months after the tin, and I tried to like find them to buy. Like sealed tins were like hundreds of dollars to buy because they were just so good. Like they were sick. So I don't know. The bureau helped so much selling the tins. Yeah, imagine like the tins had like some promos that you could pick up. You know?
There is
Really?
no promos this time, right? It's just 3 packs.
Yeah, they haven't done promos since like since the nib ones, right?
No,
Like,
last year had promos. Last year had the quarter century promos.
Which ones?
Like
what
it
were
was like, what was it? Black Rose Dragon, Stardust, Cyber Dragon. You got 1 promo in each tin.
they? Oh,
It was
did you?
random.
Hmm.
Like some of them were only okay, but most of them were actually quite solid. Like it was like Cyber Dragon, Black Rose, Stardust, Neos, Exodia head, that kind of stuff.
No rarity upgrades or downgrades for these tins. Well, I mean that's kind of like the issue with the pricing, right? Like because you're just reprinting it in the same rarity, then you're not going to see a drop in the price.
I mean,
right?
you did see a drop, right? Because SP used to be like an 80 to 100 card. It's just not the drop that people wanted, I think, right?
Was it really that much in euros?
Yeah, SP was over 100 euros after it came out.
Okay, on release, but like it sort of like plateaued a little, right?
It was like, I mean, I feel like it dropped to like 60, 70-ish because people were anticipating it being in the tin. So like it did drop because of this reprint. It's just like not dropped to the point of like being an actual affordable card, which I think is a fair complaint. But
Yeah.
to say it didn't drop at all because of the reprint, I feel like is also not true. But yeah, it's still obviously way too expensive for a card that's been reprinted in a tin box.
All right.
Yep.
I'm gonna go dip now. So
All right.
I'll see. Wait, are you live tomorrow?
I'm probably not. Probably not.
At Lille. Hey,
Yeah.
chat. You wanna know why Josh doesn't share a room with me anymore at events?
Yeah, tell him.
He says I snore too loud.
You do.
How am I ever gonna get deck lists now?
Bro, I can't sleep.
All right. Good night.
Good night. All right. All right. I feel like that's a valid reason. My bad. But I have very light sleep too. Maybe it's on me partially. I wake up very easily. All right, you guys. I don't know if there's gonna be a stream before the YCS. Like tomorrow, because I leave on Thursday. I'm gonna try to go live tomorrow, but it depends a lot on how tonight goes. Because I'm gonna spend some time tonight testing and preparing deck for YCS Lille. If I'm not happy and not done yet, I might have to take tomorrow off just to do some more prep work. Because I have been kind of stressed over the weekend with my YCS preparations, and I do want to prioritize that if I can. So if I don't see you guys tomorrow, I'll see you guys next week. But I will only be back. I'll be back at towards the end of next week. I'm actually gonna stay away a little longer than usual for the YCS. I'll return home, I think, on Thursday. But I have weekend streams planned for next week. Like, I'm definitely going to be live on the Sunday after the YCS for a Challenger Cup. And I will also be live on the Friday probably, or the Saturday for like a YCS recap kind of thing. But yeah, just so you know, we might be a little light on the streams in the next 1 to 1.5 weeks. Sorry about that, but it's a little stressful with the YCS and all that surrounding it. But I hope you understand. I hope you have a great time next weekend watching the Duelist Cup or the YCS or both. So yeah, appreciate you for hanging out. As always, I'll see where I can send you guys. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. I hope to see you at the YCS, or I hope you have a wonderful weekend and rest of the week and all that kind of stuff. I'll send you guys over to Joseph. Probably the last stream of the week. I'm not gonna lie. I'm leaning towards I'll probably need the time tomorrow to get my stuff ready for the YCS. But if not, I'll be live tomorrow. But more likely than not, I'll see you guys next week. Yeah, appreciate